Welcome to the Blanco Wellness Podcast. Thank you for being here. Take a breath, settle in, and let's talk today about a form of freedom that most people are searching for in completely the wrong place. Who are you when there is no audience? Not the version shaped by what your family expects, or what the professional context requires, or what social media rewards with approval. Not the person you have learned to present in the situations where presentation feels necessary. The version underneath all of that. The one with particular opinions that sometimes go unspoken, particular enthusiasms that sometimes get edited out, particular ways of being in the world that were present before the world started offering its continuous feedback about how you should be different. Most people, when they sit with this question honestly, find that they have been doing a significant amount of editing, not because they are dishonest by nature, but because somewhere early in the experience of being a person in the world, they learned that certain parts of themselves produced better responses than others. The unfiltered version attracted criticism or confusion or rejection. The adjusted version attracted approval, and so the adjustment became habitual, and the habitual became invisible. And eventually, the edited version became the default. Until the day when someone genuinely compliments you and you feel, beneath the satisfaction, a quiet flatness. Because they are complimenting a performance. They are connecting with the mask, and the part of you that has been behind it all along remains unmet. There is a difference between being liked and being known. Many people achieve the first, while quietly longing for the second. The liked version is available, cultivated, consistent, performing reliably within the expectations that have been established. The known version is rarer and more precious because it requires showing someone what is actually there rather than what has been determined to be acceptable. The irony is that the connection being searched for, genuine belonging, the experience of being truly received by another person, is structurally unavailable as long as what is being shown is a version designed for reception rather than the actual person underneath it. The Buddhist tradition describes attachment to identity as one of the primary sources of suffering, and identity performance is one of its most exhausting forms. The person who has committed to being seen a certain way, capable, composed, always fine, never struggling, must continuously maintain the gap between the performance and the reality, must monitor every situation for potential exposure, must spend ongoing energy ensuring that the constructed version holds. The performance requires maintenance the way a building requires maintenance. It does not sustain itself, and neglect shows. Eventually, this becomes not just tiring, but genuinely imprisoning. Not because the performances are elaborate, but because they never stop. The Taoists had a concept for the natural state of things before human interference had shaped them. Pu, the uncarved block. Before the wood has been cut to fit a particular function, it has a wholeness to it, a natural integrity, a range of possibilities that the carving into one specific form necessarily forecloses. This is not an argument against development or growth. It is a recognition that there is something present in the original nature of a thing that gets lost when the shaping is entirely determined by external requirements, rather than by the nature of the material itself. The question is whether the shaping is happening in response to what is genuinely there, drawing out what the person actually is, or in response to what the environment demands, which may have very little to do with the actual person at all. The fear underneath authenticity is real and deserves honest acknowledgement. The fear that if people saw the genuine version, the unedited one, they might not like what they found. This fear is not irrational. Rejection is genuinely painful, and the experience of having shown something real and had it received poorly tends to teach people, efficiently and lastingly, that the edited version is safer. But examine what the safety actually produces. The compliment lands on the mask. The approval goes to the performance. The connection that was supposed to resolve the loneliness lands just slightly to the side of where the actual person is standing. And the loneliness persists beneath the approval, because the approval was never actually directed at you. What tends to happen when people allow more of their genuine selves to be visible, their actual opinions, their real enthusiasms, the things that interest them that might not be conventionally impressive, is not the universal rejection that the fear predicted. What tends to happen is that the approval becomes shallower in some directions and considerably deeper in others. Some people drift away because what they were connected to was the performance, and the performance has changed. Other people arrive or deepen because what they are encountering is something real and recognizable rather than something polished and safe. The connections built on truth feel fundamentally different from the ones built on performance, not because truth is always comfortable, but because it is the actual foundation that genuine closeness requires. There is also a practical dimension to authenticity that tends to get overlooked in the more elevated conversations about it. When you stop performing, life becomes considerably simpler. You no longer need to track which version of yourself you have presented to which person. You no longer need to manage the consistency between the various presentations. You no longer spend energy maintaining the gap between what is shown and what is actually there. The energy previously consumed by the performance becomes available for actual living. This is not a small thing. The freedom being referred to in this episode's title is not primarily philosophical. It is the concrete, daily, felt experience of no longer carrying the weight of sustained pretense. As we close today, I want to leave you with a question that does not require a dramatic answer. What part of yourself have you been withholding, not from everyone, but from the interactions and relationships where it would actually matter for someone to see it? A genuine opinion, a real enthusiasm, a way of being that you have learned to keep quiet because it once produced the wrong response from the wrong person. Not to broadcast it, not to make it a statement, but simply to let it exist a little more freely in the spaces where it actually belongs. The world has enough performances. It has very few people willing to actually show up as themselves. And what you are when you stop trying to be something else is, without question, enough. Thank you for being here with me today. Until next time, be well.